So at that point, I had to consider which model I was going to go with to accomplish that classification. As you know, there are many options. We could use a Bayes network, or a perceptron, or even perhaps logistic regression. The actual classification was not simply less than or greater than noon, but rather a few time windows during the day. But to start off with something simple to get a feel for the characteristics of the data, I wanted to start off with something that would create linear separations between the classes. And so I attempted to use a perceptron. I then immediately performed some tests of validation. After doing so, it became clear I had to revisit the question of which model to use, or likely even which features to consider, as it was likely I did not capture all of the features that might have an influencing force over arrival time. I thought perhaps the data might exhibit some locality properties, and considered models to exploit this structure in the data. Now, by locality, we mean the following. Let's suppose we have a feature space of x and y values. Each pair of x and y values is labeled with a value, v. Now, let's suppose that in this space, we're given three training values, 0.1, x1, y1, 0.2, x2, y2, and 0.3, x3, y3. And each of these is labeled with a value, so 0.1 has value v1, v2, and v3, and so on. Now, these training points are just the ones that we're given, and so we'd like to create an estimator that tells us the values of points everywhere in this space, not just at the training points. We can ask what the value is at this new point in the middle, xy. Now, if we can assume that the value at this point xy is approximately the same as the values that surround it, then we can say that this data exhibits locality. So if the value at xy is approximately equal to v1, v2, and v3, the data has locality. Now, of course, this isn't always the case. Not all datasets exhibit locality like this, but of course some do. Now, a model that uses this assumption of data locality is k-nearest neighbors. So it seemed like a reasonable model to attempt next.